Hey chemistry students, so the next activity that I have for us is a lab activity, and I mean it's not the most serious lab activity in the world. What it is an opportunity for us to go into the lab and to practice some of the safety stuff that we've learned and some of the uses of the equipment that we've learned. I call it the Sponge Creature Temperature Lab, and what it is we're going to have, maybe you've seen these, we're going to have like a little pill capsule, right? And it's got inside of it a sponge, and these are toys that you can buy like at the dollar store. You get a pack of like a dozen for maybe $1 or something like that, right? And when you put them in hot water, the pill dissolves, the pill capsule dissolves, and the sponge gets wet and it unravels, and hey neat, it's a dinosaur or something like that, right? And so what we're going to do in our lab is we're going to take these sponge creature capsules, we're going to put them in water, and we're going to see how the temperature of the water affects how fast the sponge creature develops. So we'll go into the lab and we will take a look at those, and this is going to be an opportunity for us to know and apply safety practices, and it'll also be an opportunity for us to describe the use of some of the lab equipment. So let's go ahead and let's get to that. Alright, if you haven't already, on your lab handout, you might have a paper copy, you might have a digital copy. There are some pre-lab questions on the bottom of that first page. So if you haven't already, what I would do is I would go ahead and answer those questions before you get started. Make sure you read through the procedure and answer those pre-lab questions before you get started. If you need to, you pause the video, go ahead and do that. If you're in the classroom, you can probably answer those while you're waiting for your water to heat up. That'll save you some time. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's set up what we need to set up to heat up our water. Our directions say that we want to heat a beaker of water up to 50 degrees Celsius. So let me set up my hot plate, set things up so that I can heat up some water to 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, I'm going to need my hot plate. Here I have my hot plate, and I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to need a beaker of water, so I have a beaker. Put some water in it. Put that on here. We'll turn on the hot plate. It'll start getting hot. And then I need to be able to measure the temperature that I'm heating that to. So I'm going to get a ring stand right here, and I'm going to need a thermometer. And with my thermometer, I'm going to use a thermometer clamp. I'm going to put that on the ring stand. I'm going to take my thermometer out of the case. Again, we're going to want that water up to 50 degrees Celsius. Right now it looks like it is about 23. So it's going to take a few minutes. While we're waiting, let's get our sponge creature ready. So I have here our sponge creatures, and hey look, it's dinosaurs. Cool. So let's get one of these capsules out. Be careful because these are for ages 4 and up. Okay, so I got my capsule, got my water heating up. You don't have to wait around for the water to heat up. We'll just kind of skip ahead until it's ready. Alright, we're getting pretty close to 50 degrees Celsius here. This is about 49 right now. Okay, so about 49 right here. I'm going to take the water off. I'm going to try to set it up so that you can see it pretty well. I also have my stopwatch so that we can time how long it takes the sponge creature. Oh, there we go, 50 degrees Celsius. So we can time how long it takes the sponge creature to develop. So I'm going to take this thermometer out. I hope you can see there. So we're at about 50 degrees Celsius. Put my thermometer aside. Put this here, hopefully it gives you a better view. I'm going to use my beaker tongs to move the hot beaker. get you a good view there. Okay, and then I'm going to drop my sponge creature in, and I'm going to start timing. Now you can time using your Chromebook. If you just go to Google and Google the word stopwatch, you'll get a stopwatch. Okay, so let's see how long this takes. Oops. I just dropped my sponge creature. There we go. Let's watch. Alright, we're gonna call that time. It might not be 100% developed here, but sometimes you get some of these little pill capsules that they get a part that just gets kind of stuck, and I think that's what we got here. So we got about 5 minutes here, and let me use my forceps to take them out. And you can see there's just a little bit of the pill capsule there that doesn't quite want to dissolve. I think this is supposed to be perhaps the Tyrannosaurus. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. When we use the hotter water, we'll see if we can't get that little bit dissolved that's not quite open. Right? But for the 50 degrees Celsius water, let's call it about 5 minutes. Right? And if you look on your lab handout, there's a place for you to record the time. And then down here, it's asking you what you observe as it develops. And you watch it develop, you could see that, the pill capsule dissolved and the sponge creature developed for the most part. Okay, now the second part here, we need to do the same thing, but we need to do it with some hotter water. We need to do it with water that's 70 degrees Celsius. So I'm just gonna use the same water. Since it's already hot, we just need to make it a little bit hotter. So I'll put that back on here. Put my thermometer back in there. Start this back up again. And we'll heat this up to 70 degrees Celsius. And then we'll use a different one here. Let's say, can get this green one. We'll try this green one here. So let's jump ahead to when our water is heated up to 70 degrees Celsius. Alright, we're pretty close to 70 here. It's a little over 69, just a little under 70. We are right about there. I'm going to turn off my hot plate. I'm going to take out my thermometer. And hopefully you can see. It's getting cold really quick. Anyway, let me take the water off. The water is still about 70 degrees. It gets cooler a lot slower than the thermometer does. And let's set it up to time how long this takes. Here I have my green pill. And we'll drop this in here. And let's see how long it takes. there we go. It is fully developed. Let's take it out here using my forceps because that water's hot. And we got, what do we get? About 45 seconds. All right, so about 45 seconds for the 70-degree water. So on our lab paper for the 50-degree, we got about 5 minutes, and for the 70-degree, we got about 45 seconds. So pretty big difference there. So, here, let's see what we got. This guy looks like Triceratops, I think. I think we got a Triceratops, but ours is green. See, there you go. Let's put the other guy back into the hotter water and see if we can't get him to develop all the way. Sometimes they're just cheap and they don't develop. Oh, there we go, we got him. And that guy, oops. I think he is Tyrannosaurus. I think we got Tyrannosaurus there, and we got Stegosaurus. So pretty neat. We got some cool dinosaurs there. Okay, finally I'm gonna put my stuff away. Alright, I'm gonna clean up after my lab. If you have time, wait for your water to cool off. Don't burn yourself. If you don't have time, you can dump it using the tongs. You won't have this to put away. I just used that to give you a better view. And then we want to take apart our setup. So we'll take off the ring clamp, the temperature, the thermometer clamp. We will put our thermometer back in the case. Make sure the hot plate's off, and also make sure it is unplugged. And you will probably leave the stuff where you found it. I'm gonna go and put it away where it goes because there's nobody else doing this right after me. So there was the sponge creature temperature lab, right? Once you get finished doing that and putting your equipment away, at the end of the lab handout, there are some questions for you to answer about what you've done. Nothing too terribly difficult, just like what did you observe? What did you think about safety during the lab? Things along those lines, right? So make sure you answer those questions before turning that in. Hopefully, that helps us to be able to know the lab safety practices and also to be able to describe the use of some of the lab equipment. So till next time.